Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today. So, let's look at your card, Virgo. So, the Hermit. And again, as I said before, I don't use reversals. It's personal choice. It's just not something I tend to use. So, the Hermit is all about finding your truth. You can think of the number 5 card is the hierophant, and would be a religious leader, and things like that. But this is your truth. Who you are inside, what makes sense to you. So this is about your inner truth, how you decide you're going to view the world. For example, I was brought up Catholic, but that religion didn't appeal to me at all, and the more solitary reflection that comes with the tarot cards just makes a lot more sense for me in my life. And so that's where I tend to be. It doesn't have to be about religion at all, just your morals, what is important to you, what are you about, and retreating and taking some time out to really think about that. And it's kind of interesting, it does fall after the Four of Wands, because I just said it is a bit of a plateau to celebrate and then do a little bit of reassessing before you move on. So the Hermit really says, you've attained this level of success. That's wonderful. That's great. Now, as you move on, let's really consider deep down what is important to you, what your priorities are. Do you make sure what you're doing next really makes sense and fulfills you spiritually? Use your inner guide to guide you for this next part moving forward. So let's take a peek here at the third card. Oh, and the Eight of Cups. So I actually really like this card. It can be a little bit of perhaps a sad card. Cups are emotions, so it can point towards relationships. But, we are emotional about a lot of things, about work, about our hobbies, about politics. I mean, people are passionate about all sorts of things, religion. And so it really can branch out way beyond just a romantic relationship. So in the Five of Cups, it tends to point to a situation where maybe someone else breaks off a relationship with you, or you're pining after someone that doesn't share the same feelings towards you. But the Eight of Cups is where you walk away. You get to a point where you know your own truth, the truth of the Hermit. You know deep down that this isn't working. It's time to walk away. And it's actually kind of interesting. I just looked. I said originally the Four of Wands does tend to, and it's spears in this deck, I apologize, points to a marriage. And then after a lot of soul searching of the Hermit, decision to leave a marriage. So that's, since I did bring up the wedding, it can be that someone's it's a choice to leave something. That could very well be leave a place of employment, leave a friendship. It doesn't have to be something as serious as a marriage. Something you've decided that it's time to walk away from. And it can be really sad in a lot of ways. It doesn't mean you're not happy necessarily. You can be. You're not necessarily happy about this decision, yet it brings with it a slight bit of excitement. You can sort of thinking it as closing a door. You close that door, but then you turn around and you're ready to move on. So there's a bit of excitement. It's a bittersweet card, I guess is a way to put it. So you've trying to put this all together. Like I said, it's reading the tarot is like a puzzle. There's some happy things going on here. You've accomplished some things you've really wanted to accomplish, and it is worth a celebration. But for some reason, it's causing you to do some soul searching, which may, in the end, you may decide to walk away from it. And even though you may have invested a lot of emotional energy, a lot of your time into something, and even been successful, you're realizing perhaps it doesn't quite feed your soul. It isn't working on some level, and you would be not living your truth to continue on the path that you're in, and decide to move in another direction. So the Eight of Cups at the end here is, again, it's if you're not a person that enjoys change, is comfortable with change, it can be tough, but try to focus on what is coming up, the possibilities. Allow yourself to get a little excited about starting a new chapter in your life and having it more in line with your values and what you want out of your life. And so here I am, the Hierophant. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing that right, actually. But this card I've struggled with. And I've heard other people say they struggle with it because I think if you're into the more spiritual side of things as opposed to religion, and some of it's semantics, but you can sort of, and the Pope, not that this new Pope rocks, he's awesome, but it just sort of the confining rules of religion sometimes make us uncomfortable. At least they do. I'll speak for myself. So for me, I've sort of branched out into thinking of him as the Dalai Lama and Buddha, or just more spiritual systems and religions that allow for more freedom and less dogma. Um, and anyone who knows me is going to roll their eyes because I have this favorite musician of mine. And this morning I was on my way to the grocery store and I was listening to Trevor Hall, just on shuffle. And his song Wishman came on. And I got to thinking he had released his wife is a documentary filmmaker and released just some um, clips of him explaining how he came to write the songs on his new album. And it just clicked for me that his explanation behind how he came to write the song Wishman is the true essence of the Hierophant. And to really open your mind about the Hierophant, that it is not a person. It can be, it is not like a one person. And it can be people you never really expected to be as a teacher, and to be open and receptive to that. And also to never to underestimate that you could be a teacher to someone else. Okay, Virgo. Thank you so much for watching. Take care.